Good job. Good. First one's out of the way.
I need my tea. So we're going to do 3 of these, huh?
Yes, sir.
What are they going to be, like just different questions or?
Yeah, I just try to focus. Like the first one, I just wanted it to be like an overview of your business, all the things you provide. The second one will focus on the home elevations. A lot of people are going to have to raise their home, so we'll just kind of focus on that more.
That's good, yeah.
And then the third segment will focus on pretty much like your 24-hour emergency service, structural repairs, remodeling and rebuilding. I tried to just do, break them down each. And then the first one will run again, so people get that whole overview again.
Magic 100.1, along with Design, Build, Construction of Toms River, of course, giving away a $10,000 home makeover. Sandy victims frustrated with the rebuilding process and the possibility of having to raise their homes can avoid the hassle of hiring a dozen different contractors for each step of the process.
Joining us this morning is Peter Giacovino, owner of Design Build Construction Corporation. They're a Toms River company offering everything from mold removal to elevations and disaster repairs. Design Build Construction is teaming up with Magic 100.1 to give away that $10,000 home makeover to a lucky listener. So Peter, of course, a big concern for so many people is home elevations. Can you explain what the process involves? How does it work?
Well, just to talk about it, the company. My dad is the owner of Design Build. He's still an active. He's pretty much retired, but I manage the company. So, but anyway, getting back to your answer. There are some steps that you got to follow in terms of home elevation. The first thing you have to realize is, and the licensed surveyor would determine this, but we have everything under one roof, okay? And what I mean by that is you start off with a licensed New Jersey surveyor, and I've been working with this particular surveyor for about 20 years, so I know him very well. But the first thing you have to understand is, are you in an A zone or are you in a V zone? Once that's determined, the base flood elevation is shot, which means the floor of your home, which is now existing, is shot. And let's say if that is at an elevation 6, and the A zone or the V zone tells you have to go up to an 8 or a 10, that would determine how high your home would have to be lifted. So that's the first thing, determining the zone and determining the height that the house has to go up. The next thing is we also have this in house is we have a soils engineer who takes. Does a 20-foot soil boring and takes soil samples, and basically what that's for the structural engineer, who we also use. We have an in-house guy that we use, and I've known him for many years. So we basically take the soil's composition, and they come up with a foundation, or whether it be helicoil piles or the traditional pile driving. And that's that's all done in a plan that is signed and sealed by the licensed structural engineer. At that point, that allows us to now go in for a building permit. Once that's done, we've joined forces with one of the largest house raising companies in the country, and they've done many hundreds, I should say thousands of lifts for Hurricane Katrina, Houston, Hurricane Hugo, as well as a lot of storm related situations in Florida. So they've been lifting homes for years. They use something called a unified lifting rig. What that means is the rig is powered by a hydraulic system, which causes the home to be lifted and safely and straight up hydraulically. So the old method was using pump jacks, and people are still using that, but it causes a lot of damage to the home and the structure. Everything becomes very very crooked, and in terms of the structure and the floor joists, and everything just becomes very compromised.
I saw this video. You explained that too. You have one in each corner of the house, and is there one in the center?
No, actually, what we do is we remove block.
Okay.
And we can lift houses that are on slabs. We can lift houses that have additions. There's a method that we used to do that, but virtually any home can be lifted.
Okay.
So there's a fallacy that my house is on a slab. How do you lift it?
Yeah,
well,
right.
there's ways of doing it.
Yeah, I have neighbors in that situation now. Yeah.
But well, the steel is run traditionally on a traditional lift. The steel is run underneath the home. Some block is removed, and the steel is run underneath, and the rig lifts the home up, level, straight, and without any damage. In a lot of cases, if you have a marble floor, or if you have a this is maybe a home that doesn't have damage, that just has to be lifted. But if you have a marble floor or a hardwood floor, if you don't use this type of a system, you could have a real mess on your hands.
Yeah.
With the unified system, the hydraulic system, it doesn't allow things to crack. It lifts everything up in one solid piece. And then again, if you're in an A zone or a V zone, it might require piles after the house is lifted. So we also do that. We do all the modifications of the plumbing, the electrical, and HVAC.
All the hookups. Yeah.
So it's a one-stop shop.
Now let me ask you: if you were, do you get up high enough to where you can't move the house out of the way, and you got to get the pilings in there? Do you raise the house high enough that you can still get the pilings in under the house and in?
Well, helicoil piles are put in on, kind of put on an angle.
Oh, so you
depending
can.
on the soil
Okay.
composition, this is a very involved, very complicated process. It's like I said, with the structural engineer and what the townships will accept. A lot of townships are not accepting the helicoil system.
Okay.
So, but there are ways of lifting the house if in fact the township does not accept helicoils. The house can be lifted and then kind of moved in the back corner of the property, and then once that's done, you can get the entire side and let's say the entire front of the house, and then when that's done, now the house is moved in the opposite direction, okay, and then the back part of the property is then done with traditional piles.
Okay.
And then you can do the whole side. So just by jockeying the house around,
You can get the pilings
you
in.
can get them in. Yeah. Because obviously, these homes can't be,
Yeah.
they can't be moved into the middle of the street and then,
Right.
and then
Right.
done. So.
How long does this process take? Is it a week process? Is it something you can do in a few days? It's so complicated, like you said. What's the time frame?
Well, it starts off again with the licensed surveyor, and then obviously there's a process that depending on if you're in an A zone or a V zone, the structural engineer has to develop a set of plans. So your house may have to get lifted 2 feet. It may have to get lifted 8 feet. So depending on the township, depending on the height that we have to go, and the complexity of the foundation that the house now has to be sitting on, you could be talking about a couple of months, plus.
Wow. Wow. And the cost of something like this, is that determined by the size of the house?
It's determined by a lot of things. It's determined by the size of the house. It's determined by the type of soil composition that there is and the type of foundation that's going to be required. And then again, the structural engineer, he's got a license to protect, so he's going to be developing a set of drawings to get a building permit.
So you're like, is there an average cost you can tell our listeners?
There's really no average cost.
What would be the lowest end of it? Are we talking at least $30,000 to start this?
Yeah, well, the ICC money is going to be a grant of about $30,000, and you probably start there, but we have resources that through local banks and through the Small Business Administration, the SBA loans that they're doing, and then there's going to be grants that are coming out. And again, after speaking to Mayor Tommy Longo, the mayor, as I had mentioned, from Wayport, Mississippi, I mean, they're still getting grants. He was just telling me it's going to continue to be released, and there's a lot of people lobbying right now in D.C. For these grants. So I know Governor Chris Christie's been real instrumental in getting the insurance companies to get off the mark and to pay these owners so they can continue with the rebuilding process as well as the lifting process.
Peter, just a quick question. I'm hearing a lot of horror stories from friends that are going through this with the house raising. They've applied for the ICC grant, but they've been denied because the township has not approved the new flood maps yet, and those aren't even the real Sandy maps. That data was based on previous storms, so it was before Sandy. So what has your experience been with that? Are you finding that a lot of people are having that same situation? They have to wait maybe 2 years before they can actually raise their home because those flood maps are not official yet?
Well, I mean, the flood maps are official. I mean, really, a lot of these homeowners are kind of getting caught up in just a mess, and again, it's complicated. There's a lot of things to consider. So the best thing to do is whether you hire a firm like ours that does it all, or you hire another firm. You really need somebody that understands the insurance process, where the money comes from, how this whole process evolves from day one to getting the home rebuilt. We're finding that that a lot of the rebuilds that we're doing, once we remediate the bacteria and we remediate the mold, obviously we issue a certificate that all of this has been done, and then we get in there and we evaluate what has to be done. Usually it's the insulation, the existing floor has to come up. Again, installation, new flooring, right down to the kitchen, the trim, the paint, and we're getting a lot of these homes back to looking better than new again. So and we're doing it quickly, and we're doing it efficiently. And again, our firm is a little bit different than most because we have our in-house plumbing, electrical, HVAC departments. We don't really rely on subcontractors. So we can usually get in and get out, pretty quickly. You got a lot of our suppliers are standing behind us, like a lot of our lumber companies. Whether we need roofing or lumber, but there's several of our suppliers that also supply us with mechanical, boilers, hot water heaters. Things of that nature that also got affected.
Sure.
So we're getting a lot of help from a lot of my longtime friends and suppliers, and we're getting the materials and all that we need. So they've really been working with us.
Okay. Okay, that's good. We're going to tag on to the end there. Your phone number again and your email address, okay?
Okay, I see.
So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, and phone number.
Yeah, if you'd like to get a hold of us, we're located over on Route 37 in Toms River. We're at 891. That's Route 37 West. Again, that address is 891 Route 37 West. We're right at the Mule Road jug handle. We are diagonally across the street from the Walmart, right next to BJ's. So you can find us there. Our phone number is 732-270-9700. Again, that number is 732-270-9700. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we have a toll-free number. That number is 1-888-30-BUILD, BUILD. That's 1-888-302-8453. And you can reach us there 24/7. We're even open on Sundays.
Peter Giacovino, Design, Build, Construction Corporation, Toms River, and sponsor of our $10,000 home makeover. This is part 2 of our series here. Thank you for joining us this morning on Magic 100.1, as always.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Good job.
That's a wrap. One more.